It is shared. Here. Husseini,
Okay.
I'm gonna write something here. The book is here. 3.6 you said, right?
Yes. That would be page 229.
Unit 3.6, right? What's the problem number?
Problem number from page 229, problem number 14.
Okay. Number 14. Someone asked the exact same question earlier. Number
Is
14.
it possible if I did it? I'm not sure if I did it right. Can I answer if it's right? What I put?
Okay. Let me share my screen. Let me share my screen for this one. I can share it from the book. I don't have to write it. And share. Number 14. Who wanted to answer it? Ember or Kiara?
It was me. Yeah. Okay. So from reading the textbook and looking
Kiara,
at the example.
Before you, Kiara, before
no,
you
that's not it though.
So is this it? It's a 3.6, right?
No, that's not the one.
That's not the one.
That's 3.6, not 3.5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. You got 3.5.
Let me go back.
3.6.
I just go back from here, okay, and scroll down and go to the exercises. And let's scroll down to
14.
This one, right?
JK, yeah.
J 14. Did anybody want to answer this before I do it?
Yeah.
Before you do that, answer 13 is similar. So do 13 instead of giving the answer. Do 13.
So do 13. Okay. Yeah. So what I understood from the chapter, all I have to do is replace for number 13, I would replace P with X and not change anything from the equation. Just the X and the P.
Exactly. So we have two functions here. You have one, F, then we have G, which is this one. So I'm doing 13 the same way you can do 14 later. So 13 is F of P. F is a function, so we're using F, not G. And whatever is inside the parentheses here, you plug instead of the X. You're going to replace all the X's with the letter or whatever number is inside the parentheses. So for 13, okay, it will be F of, you're going to put P here, and then -3 times instead of X, what do we put?
P.
Again, P, that's right, plus 4. Does that make sense?
Nope.
Hello.
Okay, let me,
Can you just do 14 because I'm confused. You're confusing me.
Let me use the white. I'm not giving you the answer.
No, I just want to know. I mean, we already gave you the homework, so it doesn't matter if you give us the answer now.
So basically, for that question, all you have to do.
I think you did submit the homework. I did.
Let me make an example.
I don't need the answer now.
Hold on. Let me make a separate example now. I just want to do one, and I'll let you do another one. So, f of x is a function. If you find f of 1. Right? How do you find f of 1 again? Kiara already got it. So how do you do it?
Your blackboard
is like
on the bottom.
You have to substitute x with 1.
That's right.
So in the equation, you will put 1.
That's right. So f of 1. So we say f of 1. So we're going to substitute all the x's here with 1. So this will be f of 1. It could be a number, or it could be a letter. So instead of x, or the x's will be replaced with 1. Are you guys following?
Oh.
Then it will be 5. What goes inside instead of x?
It would be minus 1.
It's 1.
The 1, right? The 1 here. Then plus 2.
Plus 2.
I did it wrong.
Okay, and then you simplify it. Let's say -5 plus 2.
Plus 2.
That's
equals
-3.
3.
Yeah.
That's right. In this case, we had a number. Instead of a number, you may have a letter. Let's say do it on the side here.
Professor, can you mute the mics because
it's a lot of noise, right?
yeah.
Only Husseini has issues. Everybody else is fine. Does anybody else have a background noise in their rooms?
Not me.
No.
Okay, let me mute.
I mean, everyone could just put mute and then that's it.
Okay,
Then,
I'm only gonna mute. I'm only gonna mute Husseini. If anybody else wants to speak, feel free to talk. Okay, so instead of, let's say you don't have one, I give you a letter. Let's say find F. This is F, by the way. F of, say, A.
I'm sorry, I have a question. Which homework was it? Which number of homework?
7.
This was unit 3.6, question 14.
Oh, it's 7. Oh, I've never done it. Okay, that's why I'm like, I've never done it yet. That's why I wasn't sure about it. Why I've never faced it. Okay.
All right, so F of A. So this is F of A. This time I don't have a number like here, I have a letter. So what do I do with that A? Plug it into the function
The
F.
equation.
That's right, which is here. This is the function F. So each X will be substituted with A. So I'm going to remove this X, instead substitute the A. So it'll be F A will be -5 times X. -5 stays, but instead of the X, I'm going to put
Minus A.
Okay, plus 2. And that's it. If you have more X's here, substitute all of them with that value.
Okay.
Okay, it's a bit difficult to write, but I'm trying my best. I wish I had like a tablet or a stylus pen or anything, but we weren't given any equipment so far, so I'm just using my own resources and basically making use of everything that I have.
You're doing a good job, Professor. But that's the answer. So it's just 5A plus 2. That's it.
Yes, when it's a number, it can't be simplified, so you leave it like.
So you got to leave it as such. Okay, you're doing a good job. I can understand.
Thank you. When it's a letter, you leave it like that. If it's a specific number, like here, then you want to simplify that to get a value.
Okay.
That's basically how you plug something into a function, a letter or a number.
Okay.
All right.
Excuse me.
Husseini, did you see that?
I saw it. When you finish with that, I would like to share my screen because this is like part of the lesson.
Okay. Are you home
I
yet?
didn't get it well, so.
Are you home yet? Husseini? Are you home?
I can share my screen.
Okay, go ahead. You can do it right now.
So you have to move the one you're sharing so I can share mine.
Yeah, you guys can't share at the same time.
It says stop. Okay. Go ahead, Hussein. He's still driving. Are you gonna drive on the right? No, that's not good. Hussein, no. That's
no, I'm not driving. I'm trying to get a parking now. I'm home.
Okay, why didn't you find the parking first? Park and then call us back. Okay, we'll be here.
Okay.
I do have a question. I have a question for the same homework. For number 24, I just wanted to see if I did it right, if I understood the question correctly.
Okay, whose screen is this right now? This is exit full screen. Okay, Hussein, call us back when you're ready. Okay, when you settle. Kiara, what was that again?
For the same homework for question 24, I just wanted to make sure that I understood the question properly.
Okay, I'm going down to it right now. All right, so that I can share the screen. I don't need the board for this one. I can just share the screen. Okay, so you're talking about 24. I'll show you how to do 23.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, we have a function here. The function has a pair of numbers: -2 and 2, -1 and -1, 2 and -1. So when you say f of -2 is basically just 2. F
2.
Of
-1 is just -1.
And f of 2 is just -1. Let's practice with this one. What is f of 4 in 25? F of
F
4.
of 4.
-1.
No, F of 4.
It's 7.
No, 7.
7.
7.
You
Oh,
find
okay.
4 first. So F of 4 is this. What is F of 2 in 25?
2.
That's right. What is F of -1 in 26?
3. Oh, 9.
11.
11. F
11,
of
yeah.
-1. So F, the number
Yeah.
that
Of
goes here,
-1 is 11. Okay.
right? So that's how you do 25.
Okay.
Pretty
All right. So that's what I did. Okay.
Wait, go back. Hold on, wait. What did I say? Go back to that problem again.
Okay.
I want to take a look to so for each function.
Okay, let's look at number 27. What is F of 3?
19.
That's right. F of 3 takes you to 9.
So we just basically like compare them, like they're like associate them with the same on the right side. That's
right.
it, right?
Yeah.
It's an order pair. Each two numbers here form an order pair. One is X, one is Y.
So we
Yeah,
don't need to like solve any problems in here, right?
No, here you don't have to plug it. There is no function. It's already given. You just have to say what value it is.
So just circle the value.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you have a function and it says plug this or simplify this like we did earlier, then you have to simplify it.
So when it says find F2 and find F of -1.
That's right.
Right.
It would be 11 and 5.
Let's do that for 26. What is F of 2?
F of 2 is
It's
5.
5.
It's 5. And what's F of -1?
11.
Of -1 is 11.
Okay. So for this question, you find F of 2.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I'll skip 15. You can do that later.
I get it. Okay.
Okay. And,
Now, how about for the graph for like 32? How would I find
32.
Yeah.
32, which is here. So let's see what the question is first.
It's the same thing as
Same question. Okay.
yeah.
So the first number, like I said, is the X, and the second number is the Y.
So
the first number is the X, the second number is the Y. So first you want to find X. So F of 2, right?
mm-hmm.
So 2 is the X. Let's say the equivalent number to 2 on the Y on the graph. So let's go. What number was it again?
32.
32. So this is the X-axis. Okay. So 2 is here. If we extend if we go up vertically.
1.
It's gonna be 1, 2. No, it's gonna be 2.
Not 1.
2.
What is F of 1?
2.
F of 2 is 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the Y. This is the X. You start with the X, and you go vertically to the graph, and the intersection, find the Y for that one. So F2 is okay. Let's find for this one. Let's find F of what's the other number? -1, right?
Yes.
So what is F of -1 in 31?
Okay, so we first have to find the -1 on X, right? And then we'll put it down, and then it's gonna be -2, -3.
That's right. First you find the X here. Where do you find X -1? On B?
So
Right
it
there.
goes here, and then we put it down, and then
I'll do one here.
Y is gonna be -3.
That's right. So -1, -2, -3. Same way.
Okay.
32.
I have a question about the number 36.
Okay.
How does it work?
For that, I'll do 35. Okay. I'm not gonna do 36. I'll do 35. Refer to the given graph. Find the values of X for each value of X. Find the value of X for each value of X. So here we're going backwards. So this is the X. We don't know it, but we know the Y. So basically, we're going backwards for this 35. So 3 is the Y, not the X. The X is inside the parentheses. If Y is 3, so now we're starting backwards. We're gonna start from here and find the Y. Can someone tell us what's 3 for the first one?
So first we need to find 3 on the Y or
on the Y.
So the X is 2.
The X
so the X is 2, yeah.
Very good, Husseini. That's it. So we're going backwards. So if you have X, you start from here. If you have Y, you start from the Y. What is X in this one for B? If Y is negative.
It's gonna be 0.5.
negative. So the y is -1. This is the y-axis. This is -1 here.
Right, -1, and then
That'll be 1.
Not 1.
It's
What's the x here? If you drop
0
it.
and 5. No, it's 0.5.
Right. No. So this is
It's
-0.
0.
0. So this is -1. You find it on this axis. So this is y. Okay. The y here, 0, -1. It's already on the graph.
Oh.
Okay. Now.
So my question would be the same. Is like to determine with the x like y equal like fx. So just to determine whether the equation is rational. No, if it's an equation or just a relation.
Okay.
The what I'm talking about. They said decide whether each relation define y as a function of x.
Okay, I'm
Give the
lost.
domain.
Is it on the same homework?
No, he's talking about something different.
Okay.
I'm
Do you know
lost.
the unit, Husseini, the unit and the question, so we can open it from here?
Okay. So it's like problem 5. Let me see the units.
Okay, so we didn't finish this one. We jump into another one.
Okay. Do you still have questions about this one?
I don't get it. I don't understand what is the f and the x and why you go into the y.
This one here, right? 35?
Yes.
Okay. So f of x equals 3. So we don't know x, but this is 3. Okay. The number here is the y.
Mm-hmm.
So first you want to find this y on the y-axis.
But the numbers are the y.
That's right. The numbers are the y. If it's inside of here, it's the x. But if it's here, it's the y. So first you're gonna find this one on this axis. So it will be where it will be 1, 2, and 3. Okay, that's the y. Now we go to. Now we go to 3. Okay. You go to 3 to the graph, and what's the x here? You drop it down here. That's 2. Okay, so you start from this one on the y, which is here. You go to the graph, and you drop it vertically. So the x here, this x is 2. Or you can say f of 2 is 3. Okay, does that make sense, Sandra?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then let's do another one. For this one again, we're gonna find -1, where again, we're gonna find it first here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where would that be? Right below 0.
Yeah.
Okay, and then it's already on the graph. What's the x on this point? So the y is -1. What's the x on this point?
0.
So
If you drop it over here, that's 0, right? So you start from -1, which is here. Then you go on the x, which is 0. Let's do another one, -3. So -3 would be -1, -2, -3. And if you drop this over the x, let Sandra answer it. Nobody answers. So if you drop this over here, okay, what is the x? What is the x of this point? What is the x here of this point?
Who's answering?
Sandra.
Sandra.
So this is -3, right?
mm-hmm.
This one is here. You drop this over the graph. Now we want to find the x of this point.
-1.
-1. That's right. So this x must be negative.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Hussein.
Thank you.
No problem. Hussein, did you find your page?
Yeah, I did find it's 3.5, but it's all the way down to problem 5.
Okay, 3.5. What problem?
Problem
5.
5. Okay. Let's go to problem 5. Is that
I need more explanation.
Was it? It's not a homework. Is that a homework question or?
No, it's not a homework. I didn't just get that.
It's an example, right?
One.
It was an example.
It says, I'll go to problem 5. Work problem 5. This place, yeah, right here.
There's one, right?
Yeah.
All right. So very easy to look at a graph and see whether it's a function or not. So what you do is, you do what we call the vertical line test. Just imagine a vertical line here. How many times will the line the vertical line, how many times will it meet with the graph, which is this one? Only once, right?
One.
No matter the way you do it, will only meet once. If it meets only once, that makes it a function. What about this one? If we draw a vertical line, how many times is going to meet?
Two.
Three.
Three. Four.
Three.
So if it meets more than if it meets more than once, we say not a function. So the first one, we say a function, but this one, not a function because it meets 1, 2, 3 times. Okay. What about this one? Is this a function or not?
Function.
It's a function.
Because it only meets once. If you do it vertically, only means vertically. We don't mean horizontally. Vertically, only meets once. That makes sense to everybody?
But wait,
Yeah.
just
Yeah, a little bit down. A little bit down.
Okay. Yes,
So-
Sandra?
no, it was me, Anastasia. I'm
So-
just trying to look. Yeah, I missed it. Sorry.
Okay, so when you have a graph and you want to decide whether it's a function or not, you do a vertical line like this.
Mm-hmm.
If it meets only once, so this is a graph, and you imagine or you draw a vertical line. If it meets only once, then it's a function.
Mm-hmm.
But if it meets more than once, it's not a function. For example, this one, if you do a vertical line, how many times does the line meet the graph?
3 times is gonna
One,
meet.
2, 3, so that makes it not a function. What about this
It's
one?
not a
If you do a
function.
vertical line, how many times?
It's
does it
gonna be once.
Just once, that's right. If it meets one,
Where do we put this line?
anywhere on the graph, but it has to be vertical, okay? Not horizontal, but vertical.
Is there any way that one part of the graph is gonna be meeting only once, and if you put it on the left side, it's gonna meet more? No.
If in that case, if it meets twice anywhere on the graph, if it meets twice, then it's not a function.
Okay. Anywhere. Got it. All right.
Good, good. What else? Any other questions?
Teacher, Professor, a little bit down because this is the question is even down. Right here, these places.
Okay.
The example 6, identifying function from their equations.
Identifying functions from their equations. Okay, decide whether each relation defines y as a function of x given the domain. Basically, as we saw earlier, so you have some y, you have some x. For each value of y, you will find a value of x. Or for each value of x, there is a unique value of y. For example, if x is 1, what would the y be?
It can be from infinity to infinity. It can be 1, 0, -1.
That's right. So for example, for 1, specifically for 1, if x is 1, 1 plus 4 would be y. Okay, let me use the whiteboard for this one. So as I was explaining before, so when you have a function, it could be f of x equals x minus 3. You can say f of x, or you can also say y equals x minus 3.
So that means the same expression.
That's right. So why we say y and x, because we'll make a table. So the value of y changes based on the value of x. For example, if x is 3, this turns out to be what?
0.
That's right. If you put 3 here, 3 minus 3
0
will be 0, so y will be 0. What if x is 5? If you put 5 here.
It's 2.
It's 2.
That's right. So 5 minus 2 would be, 2. What if it's -1? If you put -1 here.
-4.
-4.
That's right. Minus 4.
But
Okay.
how many options like this we have?
Exactly. So the options is what we call the domain. All the numbers we can plug here, we can plug any number here. Okay? That's what we call the domain.
Is the ensemble R?
Is R, or you can say all the numbers. So all the numbers we can represent with a line. Okay? All the real numbers, the symbol for the group of real numbers is R like this. We can also write this in interval notation. We can say it goes from -infinity to +infinity. So any number, any real number, you can plug into this function and you will get some value back, a value of y back. So this is what we call the domain.
I understand about, I got to the 3 and 0, but why 5, 2? Can you repeat that part?
5 and 2?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you replace x, if we disconnect, I will invite you again, okay? We're gonna probably disconnect in less than a minute. I'll open another meeting.
Okay.
So 5 is, if you plug 5 here, what do you get? It would be 5 minus 2, right? Minus 3, which is 2, right? That's why I put 2 here. Got it?
Okay, got it.
Okay, so you just plug it. So the numbers, the x's.
And if you put -1 minus 3 is -4.
Exactly.
Okay.
So the numbers here are called a domain. So you can plug any number between negative infinity and positive infinity. Sorry, it should be positive. Any number from this line or from this is what we call interval. This notation here, we call it interval. So any number between negative infinity and positive infinity, basically is part of the domain. And what do we call the second group? If this is the domain, what do we call this column?
Range.
The range, that's right, the range. So this is the domain X, and the numbers of the other side, we call them the range. So this is, let me write it again nicely here. What do you call the range? Okay, so the domain has the X values, and the range has the Y values. Okay, I do believe we still have a little bit more time. Do you guys wanna come back again?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good.